It's my smartphone collection as of May 20th, 2024. Anyway, let's start. Obviously, I'm gonna have to mention the phone that I'm recording right now. I'm recording on the 2020 Moto E7. That's not turquoise, it's a red color. Not very red, but you get what I mean. Moto E7 has one of the red colors. Runs Android 10, and it's completely fine. Decided that it doesn't even support Android 11 updates anymore. And really, the only way to upgrade to Android 11 with an Android 10 device is using a sort process which requires a PC and a Pixel phone. So anyway, let's start. This is my Moto G7 Plus. This is my mom's old phone. So she used this phone. And on July of 2023, took her the case to a mini one. However, on August, she realized that this phone was old, so she bought a G73 5G. But then a G84 5G came in, which she now uses. So anyway, after my dad's phone got rotten, after he used the D70 and graduated to GF760, he finally decided to get the Moto G73 that my mom used. So anyway, this one is 64GB works. This is my Moto one. It's my dad's old phone. In fact, there's actually a ton. Okay. So this is the back of the phone without the case. As you can see, there's some battery specs because it will make sure to not cut in here. Because that will serve and it'll just break the covers of the phone and take out the battery, which is normally unremovable in newer Android smartphones. And this case claims to be made by Apple. However, the only phone that really shows that is my iPhone Plus. It says designed by Apple in California. That case says designed by Apple in California. That's really fake. That's a Chinese Moto P30 Play case. And if you don't know, the Moto P30 Play is the name for the seafood. So for this black case, it had a red case. But then he swapped it out for a black case. Like, the red case is now lost, and now it's in Tiago's cell. Like, it was available as a storage option, and I don't know if they're gonna be anymore. Fun fact, these two were updated to Android 10, and this one is a 64GB model. This is Moto E5 Play Go. It's my grandma's old phone. Anyway, so basically, she don't do that much with her. Used it, and then I used it between 2021, which is now in my Razor Retro Jokes and Sponsors channel, which I do not sponsor anything right away. I'm only gonna really sponsor anything if it's support to the channel and I really like that product. I tried Block Blast, so I'm not gonna really sponsor it because I didn't get a sponsorship deal from them. Like, most videos of sponsors, such as Visual Ventures videos, only most of them. Some of them don't even have sponsors. This is like the period of Mr. Who's the Boss. He stopped sponsor video uploading until that social media video that was uploaded recently was Surfshark VPN. This got discontinued later, and then got another Surfshark VPN ad. Probably an Opera. Well, I know I roasted Opera TX, but that was really full of flies. But anyway, after that, I flew and break the phone. So I had my final times recording in it, which is where the Android 8.1 Easter egg comes into play. This was preloaded with Android 8.1. Got software update to Android 9, but I didn't really software update it for some reason. And then it was so over. By the way, this was the time where Android 8 was officially discontinued alongside 8.1. So Okay, now one more thing about this phone. So then my dad tried testing it multiple months later. Then he realized that you need a PC for a software repair assistant to fix his phone. He tried more, but then it eventually didn't work. And now the rest is history. This is CCS C452 TV. This is David's old phone. Well, not David, a teenager. David from Vanny. Nice one. So David used to have this phone, and now he owns a completely different one. And this my grandma's main phone is now a Moto E20, by the way. Like, it's a bad phone, but it's probably one of the cheapest online if you don't have way too much money. This is the Microsoft Lumia 535. Okay, so that Saturday was definitely me. 6 days after I got this phone on December 10th, I unfortunately broke it. That caused the speaker to go bad. And then it stopped working. This is the Samsung Store Trios. Also, one more story about the Microsoft Lumia 535. So when I first got it, when it first worked, a person already used it. And, not really much happened. So anyway, there was an alarm set and there was a password. My dad hard resetted it, so now it's completely fine. At least it doesn't work anymore, which is sad. This is a Nokia Lumia 930. It's so signs of life. Like, whenever I charge it, it shows the battery dead icon because it cannot charge the phone. Anyway, it's a personally signs of life Nokia Lumia. This is a Samsung Galaxy Young Plus TV Digital. It does work, but it has no battery. And the screen is completely cracked, so that's why it has cracked screen I'm trying to turn on. Or go to home screen, etc. Everything else you can do with this phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy one. I don't know if it came reloaded or I software updated it too, because this one's Android 4.1.2. Can anyone question me in the comments? I didn't do any research. That's my old phone. In 2020, I unfortunately put a pin on it. Then I didn't even remember some pins, but didn't remember the others. So my dad hard resetted it, and then I installed all my goodies again. In 2021, I broke it so much. In 2022, I broke it again while trying to run Unity. This is where the phone started to get bad. Because on September 4th, 2022, I uploaded a source saying that my phone, every time I turn on, can't even respond anymore. Now it doesn't even turn on anymore since the last time I broke it was in 2023. This is an iPhone 4S, an official iPhone 4S by the fact. I didn't do any research about iCloud, so if you know anything about iCloud, let me know. So I know about iCloud, it's a thing. There's a thing called iCloud locked or unlocked test. If it's unlocked, then you can do anything with it. If it's locked though, it's a completely different story. As it's normally a dead end for iPhones, which is quite sad. Hope this one doesn't have iCloud. There's also a thing called Find My iPhone, which existed since the 3DS, I believe. I didn't do any research again, I already told you. Anyway, if your Find My iPhone is turned off, then you will reset the phone and it's fine. If it's turned on, however, that's a completely different story. As in when you try to reset it, it will be completely bricked. It's like the iCloud lock thing. But anyway, so this is a Sony WT19A. When I first got this phone, the touchscreen was actually really bad. I couldn't even solve the graphite, which actually didn't even do a lot of sense. This was locked to probably a person, and there was a graphite passcode, I already mentioned that earlier, and an alarm. So, then to eventually get off, I didn't really do anything with it. I let you know with this, but my dad couldn't hard reset it for two. First, I would need a PC, which my PC was getting fixed at the time. And secondly, I needed to go to the settings of this phone, which resulted in me to find the graphite. It's really impossible to find the graphite of this thing. So I took out the battery. It's a Samsung Galaxy 5, or my Samsung Corby Tuts. Maybe that's what they refer to it as in Brazil. DTI5500B. This one doesn't really even have to do that much. This one probably runs Android 2.1, however the OS was probably discontinued. It was discontinued 100%, so then it's probably upgraded to like an OS or something. It may be on Tim, it may be locked to a person, I don't know. The only way I can find out is if I have a battery for it, which I don't. Just my Motorola EX128 from Tim Brazil. This looks completely fine. It wasn't used by anybody. There was just a ton of phone books in there. I don't know why there were a ton of phone books in there. Why someone used this phone? As you can see the little thing. Yeah, that was epic. This one's MediaTek. But then I realized there's a messenger app in here. At least plug in the phone. Here's Windows Live, which basically runs the exact same as Samsung TTE 3217B1. I do have a Samsung TTE 3217B on Vivo VR, which uses this exact same. In fact, Vivo is the largest carrier in Brazil. Claro is the second largest, which is actually. Now, this one is literally unusable because the Hotmail domains have been discontinued and then replaced with the Outlook ones. The one that doesn't even know how to the GTN290. Yeah. There's also one thing that's not in the GTN290. If it's locked, you can turn off the device. It's actually a pretty cool thing. Like the GTN290 doesn't do that. Speaking of GTN290, here's it. Now this does run MediaTek, of course. This on Claro. And this is ZTE's very first TV phone. This was released in May 2011, and May 2010. This was used to collaborate the new FIFA World Cup, which was in 2010. The South African army, I believe. Which was actually pretty good. I now have the FIFA World Soccer Cup phone. Well, never mind, because I actually had it since almost a year now. Anyway. Almost a year now refers to, the 20 days before the return it's 21 days. This fully works. And the stylus can fit right in. Well, the Moto X128 can, but I don't know how it fits perfectly all the way down anymore. And this is my old smartphone. This is a Motorola EX245. This one does work, but it doesn't have a battery. And this one is partially working because it drains the battery so fast, like my GTE 96W. So fast, in fact, that even when it tries to boot on, it just dies. So anyway, even at full battery, it still dies. But anyway, this is completely this I believe is completely defective because it's completely the screen is completely like my GTE 2330B at the time that it worked, which was until the late July 2023 period. It was actually a ton of days after I got this phone. July 1st, I got a trade including this phone. Anyway. This one has the power button, however the rest of the buttons are just pushed. Except the volume button and the camera button. The power button is completely pushed. The power button is completely pushed in this phone, and the EX128 power button doesn't even exist. There's two stories between the power buttons. This one got loose, so it fell out. And this one was pretty big, so I had to wait until it discharged to eventually get it to shut down. This didn't even have any sounds. It was like in silent mode. And when I first got this phone, it was still on. The rest of the phones didn't. It was free up for Samsungs. Anyway, after that, my dad removed the power button after. And I could really only use a stylus for turning on this one. Which, it came with a pre-built stylus. Anyway, let's go back to the Moto TV. This one had actual stylus, which also had an antenna, as well as a TV phone. This is the antenna, which look like this. This is the stylus, which is right here. With that stylus. Anyway, this was exactly like the X1.8, but released just 4 months earlier on April 2010. Anyway, thanks for watching and peace.